Hello everyone, and welcome to this second tutorial on editorial tools. So on the previous video I did show you about how to create this timeline using the editorial workspace and inserting and overriding clips into our timeline. I'm now on my timeline workspace, and what we're going to be looking today is to the tools that you find on your left hand side of your timeline. So here you can find tools like the first one, which is the selection. So you can select to the right of a track or to the left of a clip. You can select with multi-tracks in the case you had multi-track editing. That is quite self-explanatory there. The next ones are more to fix my edit. So things like slip clip and a slide clip. Then I have roll edit, ripple edit, and retiming. And finally, we have our eraser tools to erase the clip that I'm on, or erase all the clips up below the playhead or at that given point, or actually join a cut. Okay, all these tools can also be accessed by hotkeys. So you have Q for your multi-tool, then W for the track selection or clip selections, then you have E for the slip and a slide clip, R for ripple edits, roll edits, and retimes, and T for your erasers. Now, if you want to go into the internal tools, you can press a couple of times each of the hotkeys. So for example, I can press R to go into my ripple edit, but if I press it twice, now I'm in roll edit, and if I press it 3 times, I'll be in retime. You can do that with any of the other tools. You can see how the icons change as I go through the hotkeys. Let's actually start using my slip clip. So if we look in the timeline, I'm going to go till the end to my last clip here. We can see how this edit doesn't really match. What is going on is at the end of this edit, the character has some light here at the end, but when we go into the next clip, he has passed that point already. So it doesn't really match. So let's actually do a little bit of slipping here. So the slip allows you to move a clip inside its cuts already. So if I go to the bottom of that clip and click, you can see I can see the head and tails of my clip, and on the viewer I can see the frame that I'm on in the middle and the first frame and the last frame on the sides. Now I can start slipping that to the side until I find that my first clip is on the light, so something around there, and I can see how I have some light beside him, like he's now going from that point to there, and it feels a little bit more natural on the edit. The next tool that I'm going to use is I'm going to use my slide clip. So if I press twice on my E, now I'm on my slide clip, and I can slide this clip here. What I want is it feels a little bit too late when it comes in this point, and here I want a little bit more of that pausing moment here. So what I'm going to do is if I select that clip and move it to the left, I'll be able to slide it together so it moves all your cuts together to that point, and I'll say something around that. And now I can see how that'll give me a little bit more time in here until he goes up, and a good timing here between my jump and there. So that's sliding a clip. Okay, now I'm going to show you ripple edit, which is one of the most common used tools when you're editing. This tool allows me to push a clip either to extend it or contract it, but push the whole edit with it. So in this case, actually, I'm not that happy. This actually was a really long pause here while he's coming up. So I want to make that shorter, but I want this to move with it. So I'm going to use my ripple edit to just contract that clip until I can see a little bit more of him. And there you are, you can start seeing him coming up. So not that much, just about there. And you can see how everything ripples down with it. So if I press play, and now it will make a little bit more sense in the edit. Now the final tool I'm going to show you now is retimes. So let's actually retime this first clip we have here. I want it to be a little bit faster with the movement here and everything. So I'm going to do a linear retime. So I'm going to select my retime tool, which allows me to either extend the clip or contract the clip in time. So if I actually contract it this time, I'm going to do something like this. and it's going to just give me percentage of how fast I'm going to make it. So in this time I'm actually making 130 or 129%. If I want to make that an exact number, I can actually do it by just right-clicking on the clip and going editorial and retime. Here I have a panel that allows me to tell how much I want to retime that clip for. And I have different methods to do it, either by keeping the time and duration or by keeping the source duration on the actual clip. You can also anchor a current frame. So let's actually give this an exact number. I'm going to make it 150% and say OK. And you can see how that now has done that in that time. Now to finish with my tutorial, I'm going to use my multi-tool. In this case I'm going to use it to select a space in between my edit, so I can erase the spaces like that to get my edit to join, and that's just by pressing delete. And now I'm happy with that retime. Okay, so now that I've shown you all the editorial tools, I just used the multi-tool to erase my gap. But the multi-tool is every single tool in one. So we can do all the different editorial just with this one by placing our mouse in the different parts of a clip. So if we put it at the top, we'll be able to do sliding of that clip. If we put it at the bottom, we can do slipping, and you can see I can see the head and tails as well of that clip. If I put it on the sides, I'll be able to do trimming, and if I use Alt, I'll be able to do ripple editing with it. So that is my multi-tool that allows me to do all my editing in one without having to jump with all of the other ones. So now, just to recap, we did a retime happening at the beginning, then that clip coming in, we slide it in to be on a better point, then we actually did some ripple editing on this second one to get a nicer cut, and finally we did the slide clip into a final clip to match the light coming between those two clips. Cool. Hope you have enjoyed this tutorial on editorial, and I'll see you on the next video about how to add soft effects into our timeline.